Going live. What's up, YouTube?
What's up? What's up? We
What's up?
back, baby.
I bet Rogue's already in the chat. If you
Where's
don't
Rogue?
know,
Where's
we go
Rogue?
live every 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. We're back, baby. Another weekly episode of Insider Betting. But because Adam and I are low-key casuals, we didn't even know that there was no UFC this weekend until a few days ago. We thought Ern Blanchfield versus maybe Macy Barber was this Saturday, so we were all prepared to break down those fights. But because that fight card isn't happening for another week, we thought we'd still hop on and share with you guys our favorite breakdowns or cards from this year, our favorite fights, and what fights we're looking forward to most to finish off the end of 2025. I'm pretty excited. I thought this year has been a little underhyped. UFC fans are calling this one of the lamest years in UFC's latest history, which I'm not too sure I agree with hell of crazy matchups coming up with like Hamzat versus DDP and not Volk versus Charles, Ilya versus Charles. Just so many awesome matchups to come by the end of 2025. Anywhere you want to start with this live, Adam? We're kind of just going this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with you got to update the thumbnail on YouTube.
Okay. Do that right now.
Yeah, I don't know why it says we're up. Like I see yours, and then I see where we're actually live, and the actual live one don't have a.
See, I thought that might have happened. I was unsure. My bad, bro.
Shit happens. Yeah, let's start with most recent. Michael Morales. Obviously put on a fucking banger of a show against what's his name? Against Gilbert Burns there. And popped him up to the top to the 8th spot, I think. He jumped over Colby Covington, deserved. And Wonder Boy and Jeff Neal as well. Some people might say he jumped a little too far. I think he jumped to the perfect spot. I think everyone above him, besides, I think everybody above him deserves to be above him. The only question marks I would say would be Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. I know they're both former champs, but I'm just saying they're question marks in terms of inactivity because they haven't fought in a while. What's up, Steven James? Good chat, bro. Let's get in there. But anyway, Michael Morales. I think that next up for him is Leon Edwards, is what I would want to see, I think. I think you got to put up striker versus striker. I know, like, in terms of testing Michael Morales and popping him to the top 5, like, it doesn't make sense for him. But I think when you look at Leon Edwards, I think you have to give him a striker, and I think Michael Morales is the striker you want to give him. I don't think it'll get him a title shot. I think he has to probably beat, like, somebody who's a little bit more well-rounded to get that title shot. But I think it's a good comeback fight considering his time off and stuff like that. So that'd be my shout there.
Yeah, so unfortunate we couldn't see Gilbert Burns last longer than a round there. I was really hoping he could have had a better performance there in the Fighter Apex. Everybody was there rooting for him. But Michael Morales, yeah, he definitely shown that he's the star, the upcoming star in the welterweight division. But so much going on in the welterweight division right now with Sean Brady sticking out, Shavkat Rakhmonov kind of on the sidelines due to an injury. I mean, Bilal got taken off. JDM's new, and just Ian Gary's right there. Joaquin Buckley's right there. So a lot of guys. I mean, we didn't even mention Carlos Prates. I mean, Ian Gary made him unforgettable, I guess. Put the cigarette out as a celly. But I mean, Carlos Prates versus Michael Morales is a striking matchup that I'd love to see as well.
Like that.
I mentioned that in a little breakdown video I did on the after Michael Morales won that fight. But I'm excited to see what happens at welterweight. Who has the belt by the end of 2025? Is it Islam Makhachev? Is it Sean Brady? Is it Ian Gary? I honestly have no idea. Even Michael Morales makes a case with the performance that he did on last week's fight night.
Yeah.
What's up, Steven James?
Yeah, Steven, that's a great question with DDTP and Hamzat. We're gonna. I want to talk about that. I just want to finish the welterweight division here because I think it kind of flows in there. But yeah, with the welterweight division, like I think you're right. Actually, I think Michael Morales versus Carlos Prates could make sense. I think Michael Morales would feel like it's like a backward step for him because he's just got a loss on his record, right, Carlos? And he's like, why would I put up my undefeated streak against him? I want to go up against someone who's ranked higher than me. I think if you do like an Ian Gary versus a Leon Edwards, that would make a ton of sense because if Leon wins that fight, maybe you shoot him back up to a title shot, beating someone like Ian.
Yes.
Because Ian is so well-rounded, that would make it deserved. And I think that's probably what Leon is looking for. So I don't mind that. And that would be a good main event for like a London card or like another UK card, which I'm sure they're going to have this year.
No, respect for giving Brady his flowers there, or Edwards his flowers there, and saying that he deserves that matchup, because I don't think he's out and done, even though he got demolished by Sean Brady. I don't think it's over for him. I don't think his chances at regaining the title is impossible. I think he still has a decent chance. It's 1 or 2 wins when you're in the top 5. So he just has to have a performance like Sean Brady, dominate somebody, get a knockout or something, that he'll be right back there for the title. He was once pound for pound #1 in the world. So we got to respect Leon Edwards. I think he's not finished yet. But yeah, every weight class, I swear, in the UFC has huge implications for big fights by the end of the year. So wherever we want to start, I like that we started in welterweight. I do think it's the most stacked division in the UFC right now. But wherever you want to take this combo, I'm here for it, bro.
Yeah. Last thing in the welterweight division is like, it's just like at a standstill, because Islam's moving up. Sean Brady's not going to get his title shot till that fight happens. And then so like everything is just kind of waiting for that. So it's a weird spot to be for them because it's so stacked already. You're just bringing another fucking demon into the mix. But where I want to take this next, welterweight, MMA Toad, welterweight, the new lightweight. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, lightweight used to be crazy
right now. And I like Buckley. He is the most hungry right now. Yeah, he's in it for sure.
With lightweight, we got kind of these old legends, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier. These guys won't be in the UFC for another 5 years. In welterweight, we have Joaquin Buckley, Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Michael Morales, all these JDM, all these young guys who are just at like their peak in their athletic like abilities. So there's so much promise in these guys, and welterweight's just so stacked right now, so young. It's unlike any other division in the UFC for sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll take this to Steven's question here. Hamzat DDP. I think this is the most exciting fight coming up in the UFC right now. In the books, I think you can probably toss O'Malley Merab in there as well.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a fun first fight. That's coming up real soon.
Ilya Charles is
fun, but I feel like
Islam JDM.
Say that again.
Islam JDM.
I know, but I just think like because DDP earned his respect by beating so many top tier guys. I think Hamzat is like the last one in the division, and like we just haven't seen Hamzat have that title shot. I think if Hamzat wins, like he's been the most dominant fighter in the UFC in terms of like just how quickly he finishes guys. Obviously him and Kamaru went the distance there and stuff like that, and he's had his hiccups, but he's always came out on top. Very interested to see how DDP handles that matchup. I think people are counting DDP out too early, but at the same time, like kind of deservedly so, just because of how dominant Hamzat's been. I have to wait closer to the fight to like make a prediction there because I don't want to right now. Right now, I'm going Hamzat, I think, but I think I want to wait a little closer too to see what happens.
I think we need to start humanizing Hamzat Chimaev. I swear we look at this guy as like this Superman of the UFC, and like he's just like the biggest prospect the UFC has ever had. Like he could just come into a fight and take you down and choke you out in a minute. And we've seen it against the #1 contender in Robert Whittaker. So, I mean, it's definitely proof is in the pudding with Hamzat. You know what you're going to get, what style of fighter he is. But I think against these top guys, DDPs, the champions of the world, he's not going to look like that. We've seen him kind of get humbled in a fight against Gilbert Burns. Imagine him against DDP. That's how my brain's breaking this one down. And when you compare their last 5 years of competition, I'm not sure if we could pull up this post. Inside Fighting did a post on this when they were like beefing online a bit. But Hamzat Chimaev in the past 5 years has beaten Kamaru Usman at a catchweight and Kevin Holland at a catchweight. And that's his last 2 wins in the UFC in the last 5 years. And I think like somebody else before that. So it's or Gilbert Burns. So he's had catchweight with Kamaru Usman, catchweight with Kevin Holland, and now he's going to DDP. Well, DDP defended his belt like 5 times, performance of the night here, performance of the night there. So it's going to be a tough one for Hamzat, and I'm gonna hammer DDP if he's plus money, which I think he will be.
I think DDP is going to come in plus money. I don't think odds have dropped for that one yet. I could be wrong. We might have to pull up DraftKings real quick and see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, DDP has done a really good job as well, making these like top dogs seem less top. Just like stopping them. Like he's and he doesn't like the reason Hamza has been like so hyped up is because of how he's been finishing them. He either finishes you in the first round or he goes to decision with you. That's what it's been in the UFC for him so far. With DDP, he's gonna go lay with you. He's gonna go round 3, round 4, round 5. Like he's gonna drag on the fight. But I think with Hamzat, it's just surviving the first round, surviving that initial pressure, and then you can kind of get the win. And we've seen it. Like we've seen it with Kamaru Usman. Like Kamaru had his moments in the third round. We haven't seen Hamzat go past the third yet. Right. So like how does he do in the fourth? How does he do in the fifth? That's the question, and I think DDP is the type of fighter to make him go there. Like I don't see DDP getting knocked out in the first. I don't see him getting submitted in the first, So yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a fight. The question is, can he win round 3? Because I think what's going to happen is Hamza comes out hot. I think he wins rounds 1 and 2, so that means DDP's got to win the next 3 rounds or finish him.
You think he wins those first 2 rounds with wrestling though, right?
I just think his intense pressure, like he's just like so like relentless. Like he just keeps going. But I think that's what causes him to die down rounds 3, 4, 5. So if he doesn't get that finish, that favors DDP so heavily. And
he's
I also
always looking for the fucking finish, and DDP will just be looking to defend his belt. He's going to use that momentum against them.
Exactly. And I think that like Hamzat has been up on a high horse right now because of what he did to Robert Whittaker. But like, don't get me wrong. We've never seen someone's jaw. I don't think so. I've never fucking seen it.
I've never seen that. Fuck no.
But now we know that Whittaker has had it snapped before. He had like a metal rod in there holding his teeth together, and it was just a little loose. And Hamzat was able to take it all the way, So like, was it all Hamzat? Probably not. It was mostly Hamzat. But
true. That's a great point too.
Yeah,
but so let's say Hamzat does get the belt, he does win. Do you think he's going to retain it for a while? Do you think he'll still be champ by the end of 2025?
Yeah, I don't like anyone else in the division right now to beat him.
I think middleweight's pretty good right now. We got real contenders in Nasruddin Imavov, Kyle Bahayo, and we even got a matchup coming up between RDR and Robert Whittaker. And if RDR has a performance, he could be shot up for the title as well. So I mean, middleweight is kind of booming right now as well.
It is. I just like when I watch. Yeah, I guess I'm just like I got some sort of bias against Imavov because I don't really rate Imavov that highly. I know he's a number 1 contender, but he doesn't feel like a number 1 contender type of fighter.
I feel that. I was never hot on him either, and then he beat my goat, and now I have to respect him.
Yeah, you gotta respect him, but he doesn't scream champ. And like, I love the fighting nerds. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, besides like Jean Silva, like he's been screaming like, "Oh shit!" Like this guy could be a champ. Like especially after what he did to Bryce,
Yeah.
But like Kai Baralho as well, Like he's beaten some guys, but like he doesn't necessarily scream like, "I'm a champion. I'm here to like stay and win." Like I just don't get that vibe from him. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yeah, I think if Hamza wins, like I don't see anyone. Like I think DDP like has proven that he can be a very dominant champion just with his fighting style because he's got that relentless pressure that Hamzat has, and I think that's what we see in the UFC right now. Like you gotta have that to be a champ, Fucking Marab, that's all he does, Volk, that's how he beat Diego. Jack. Or JDM, that's how he beat Bilal, right? He didn't take the foot off the gas.
Relentless, yeah.
So I think DDP is the only other guy in the division besides Hamzat that we've seen being able to do that in the division, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, middleweight's pretty good. I mean, we went through 2 divisions, I feel like already. Welterweight and middleweight. I think we take this to light heavy and heavyweight real quick. Light heavyweight. There was just a fight. There was a fight announced for Buka. I don't know if you've ever heard of Buka. I have not before, so I looked it up. It's right beside Georgia, like where Marab
Okay.
and Ilya, all of them are from. So I didn't know. I thought it was like going to be like Buka, Mississippi or something, like just some weird state I've never heard from before being Canadian. But no, Buka's in the middle of nowhere across the world. And that's going to be headlined with Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree, where I think Khalil Roundtree is looking to bounce back from that Alex Pereira loss and get back into title contention. And Jamal Hill obviously has to bounce back from getting knocked out from Yuri Prochazka. But weird division right now. Yuri Prochazka denied the title shot because he's in school studying. We got probably the rematch going to happen soon between Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. I thought that fight originally was closer than the judges had it out to be. I edged Alex Pereira winning that first fight. I do edge him winning the second fight. I do want to see Alex Pereira back as champion by the end of 2025. But what are your thoughts about the light heavyweight division? Who do you think is a real contender in that division?
Yeah, we got a comment in the IG chat. You got Marab to beat Sugar, right? No, but we'll touch on that in a second.
We will touch on that. But we got Carlos Alberg, a young gun in that division. Dominic Reyes on a resurgence. Like, there's some people there.
Yeah. No, but back to light heavyweight. Magomed Ankalaev put on a pretty good performance against Alex Pereira. And I think he put on the type of performance that we didn't expect him to put on.
Mm-hmm.
And he proved that, like, he can be a decent champion. Like, he can be an entertaining Dagestani champion, kind of like Islam's done, you know? So I'll give him his flowers there. Alex Pereira, though, way more fun to watch, way more fun of a personality. I want Alex Pereira back as a champion. I think Alex can beat Magomed. I thought, it's hard because you and I were both there live for UFC 313 where Pereira and Ankalaev fought. And it's hard. It's hard to, like, judge a fight live because you don't see all the angles. But when I was there live, I thought Pereira beat Ankalaev personally.
Me too. That third round, I thought he won. I mean, that fifth round, I thought he won.
Yeah. I think it came down to the fifth. So, yeah, I really thought he won that one as well. But sorry about that. But yeah, in terms of everyone else, like, again, like, I don't rate anyone that highly. Like, Yuri, I rate. I like his fighting style. I think he's very entertaining to watch. I really like Yuri Prochazka.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill, bum, like, straight up. Like, I don't like Jamal Hill at all. I think Khalil Roundtree beats him. I think Carlos Alberg beats him. Like, I don't know why he's in the top five. Like, I think most of these guys can beat him in the top five.
Let's just book Dominic Reyes versus Jamal Hill now. Forget the Khalil Roundtree. Just book the fucking Reyes matchup.
This is what I want to see. I want to see Ankalaev versus Pereira running it back, and I want to see Yuri Prochazka take on Dom Reyes. That's what I want.
Oh, wow. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, like, I want to see Dom, like, get a title contender opportunity next. Because I think
they're going to book Dom versus Jan. Just because Jan's kind of just lost that close decision to Carlos. Carlos is sitting at number 3. Dominic's right there at 8. Jan's at 5.
Oh. You could do Dom Carlos as well.
Dom Carlos would be nasty. But now we're giving Carlos just the old guys. Now we're giving him Jan and Dominic. We're setting them up.
But like, you want Carlos Yuri? That's what you think needs to happen?
Yeah, that's number one contender for sure.
Yeah.
But Yuri, I don't think Yuri's going to take that. I think he's going to wait for a title.
If Pereira wins, Yuri's not getting a title shot.
You don't think they would want to market that? Nah, I mean, he's beat him already twice, right? Like, nobody needs to see that again, yeah.
If Alex Pereira beats Ankalaev, Carlos Alberg is the immediate title contender, I think. And so I think if Yuri doesn't fight Carlos, he's losing a chance to earn a title contending shot. You know,
I respect everybody calling Jamal Hill a bum, and like I see it, like we see it in his performances, but I think he's entertaining, bro. I've learned to love kind of the almost victim that he plays after a loss and blaming it on other people and making the excuses and stuff. It's like kind of like with Sugar Sean O'Malley when he started, like, he had the loss to injury and he had another loss to Marab, and he's hitting up the Sugar Sean Athletic Commission and overturning these decisions and still undefeated every time he goes into a fight. And they say he has a loss on his record. He pulls up the 0. I kind of like that cockiness and arrogance from fighters now. It's growing on me.
Bro. It's
So
different.
I like Jamal Hill, man. I don't know what it is. I like him, but you gotta respect Khalil Roundtree more than you respect Jamal Hill. That's where I'm at with it. Like I like both fighters a lot, but Khalil Roundtree is just a sweetheart, man, compared to Jamal Hill.
No, but he put up a show against Alex Pereira. Like before on Kalaev, we didn't see anyone put up a show like that against Pereira and Izzy, obviously. But in light heavyweight, we haven't seen that, right?
Absolutely.
Like he won those first 2 rounds, which again we just haven't seen anyone do besides on Kalaev. But no, the difference between Suga and fucking Jamal Hill is that Suga, like he says it like seriously, but like he's joking, where like Jamal Hill is dead serious and he's just a whiny little bitch. And like that's my issue with him. Like that's my biggest issue. Is like I got no problem with you like joking about your losses and like making some sort of excuses in like a joking way. But like Jamal Hill genuinely thinks he was robbed against Alex Pereira.
That's true.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think Suga thinks he was 100% robbed against Merab. I think he thinks there's a case where he won that fight, but he's like, I understand why Merab won that. Where like Jamal Hill doesn't feel like that. Jamal Hill genuinely thinks like I got fucked by the ref, and it's like, bro, like we all saw that fight.
That's valid. I that's something I hate when fighters do. They blame their loss on the ref. I've seen it too many times, and they just take no accountability for letting their pride get in the way of them making a poor decision in the fight, which led to them losing. So I do agree with you there. I think that's accountability with a fighter in this sport. It's way more commendable. You want to cheer for somebody who has that accountability and takes it on the chin and comes back with a vengeance. You know what I mean? But we don't have to get into. So I want to see Alex Pereira back at champion. So do you. But not much to talk about at heavyweight besides John Jones, man. What's happening with Jones and Tom Aspinall? Is he ducking Tom? Is he just retired at this point? We've seen him on vacation now, enjoying himself, paying no mind to the UFC and the UFC's Twitter coming at him, saying he needs to be stripped of the UFC interim heavyweight title. Let me know what you think about this one, Adam. Do you think he's going to be back fighting in the UFC by the end of 2025 for the unified championship?
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly answer Steven here. Who's the guy with he's saying who's the guy with the fighting nerds that fights in the light heavyweight division? I don't think there is one. Is there? No,
Mauricio Ruffy.
But he's lightweight. No?
Lightweight,
Not light heavyweight.
No light heavyweights. The middleweight is Kyle Bahayo, though.
Yeah, Kyle Bahayo is middleweight, and he's the heaviest. And you got Gene Silva,
Marcio Rufy, and Carlos Prates.
Yeah. So nobody there. Do I think John Jones comes back end of 2025? $1 million question. I think he either does or he retires. That's what I think happens. Like they can't be dragging this on for so long. When did he fight? He fought in November.
His last 2 fights was against Cyril Gane and Stipe Miocic, and those were the last 2 fights he's had in 5 years.
Yeah, and Stipe was in November.
Yeah, and Tom Aspinall is historically the longest interim champ to date. And there's never been an interim champ who's defended the belt 3 times, which he has done or is about to do if he gets a matchup between like Cyril Gane or Alexander Volkov. So, I mean, sucks to be Tom right now, honestly.
Yeah, sucks to be Tom. I think, Steven, all the fighting words wear glasses. Yeah, it's like part of their branding. Fucking dope though. They like give them out when you're there live. Like they just like they got millions of fucking glasses, bro. They just give them to everyone. Wish we got some though. Tom Aspinall's got the short end of the stick for sure, but like it's against John Jones. So like I don't think we'll ever see an interim champion for longer. Like I think like Tom's gonna hold that record forever.
I agree.
Like you need another go to break that. Yeah. I think in July it'll be announced what's happening with John, because I think that'll be 8 months, 9 months since his last fight, and at that point they're either booking another fight like within the next 3 months from July, or they're saying, yo, he's done, he's letting the belt go.
Yeah,
Tom's gonna be the champ,
It's just so weird. He did make a tweet saying that the UFC does have plans for him. He just doesn't know why they haven't shared those plans with us yet. And we're seeing Islam Makhachev get his belt stripped. We're seeing Ilia Topuria get his belt stripped. It's like,
but not stripped. That's different though. Those guys gave up their belts to go fight up.
Yes.
Yeah, but
they're not allowing them to keep the belt. Well, they're just allowing John Jones here to keep the belt for as long as he wants. It's kind of like that Dana White privilege that gets joked about in press conferences every now and then. But John Jones, we could undoubtedly say that he has some Dana White privilege.
100%. I think the only reason those other guys are getting stripped is because it holds up too many high quality fighters. You know, like John Jones not fighting holds up no one except for Tom Aspinall. You know?
Yeah.
Where like if Islam gets to keep his belt and go fight JDM, what do you do with Ilia Topuria? You know, if Topuria gets to keep his belt to go fight Islam, what do you do with Volk and Diego Lopez and all those guys? Like they got nothing to fight for, you know? I don't like the double champs. Like I like the concept of a double champ status. And I think that when Islam wins, although he'll be stripped of the belt, he'll still walk out with 2 belts, you know? But if he wins that fight, but at the same time, it's like, it just fucks so many things up. Yeah, unless there's no one in the division that deserves to be a champion, then it's fine. You know, like for example, if Ilia Topuria didn't move up, there would be no problem with Islam keeping his belt and going for double champ status.
Yeah.
Right? Because no other lightweight deserves the fight except for Armin. Right? True. And Armin's injured.
Could we see Max beat Dustin Poirier or Dustin Poirier win that fight? Whoever wins the BMF there, eventually fight Ilia Topuria if he wins the title. And then Ilia Topuria could be like a double champ and BMF. That would be pretty badass.
Well, in my opinion, Ilia deserves the BMF belt already.
Yeah, I mean, he already knocked out Max, right?
He knocked out Max. I don't understand why they do that the way they do. But no, I mean, if Max Holloway loses to Dustin Poirier, it fucks his career trajectory up because like Dustin Poirier is retiring after the fight. He said, win or lose, he's done. You know, like he wants to go out on top. He wants to go out in Louisiana. He doesn't want another fight after this. And Dustin Poirier is one of those guys. I don't think you can convince otherwise. Like I think he knows what he wants, and he's just going to go with that. You know. If
Holloway loses, commentator Poirier too, because we saw commentator Cruz. He's been killing the game. I hope Poirier sticks around the UFC because I don't like Daniel Cormier on the commentator booth. Maybe we could see some replacement by the end of 2025 with one of these legends retiring. Like even Jose Aldo, bring him on the mic. I don't care. Anybody else?
Jose Aldo and Moicano running the Portuguese stream would be sick.
That would be so dope, bro. That would be so sick.
Yeah. Do you see, by the way, Jose Aldo? He made like a comment that he's like only 5 years away from 50.
I did see this.
We talked about it last week, how he's not 38.
Yeah.
So like,
I did.
What he's saying is that he's like 45 or like close to 45. That's crazy. And the UFC definitely knew. They just like, you turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah. We were all saying, oh, he's the same age as Zahabi. He's the same age. Definitely wasn't. He definitely was not. So that's pretty funny that that got exposed there. I don't think we need to carry on with the heavyweight division just because, like, literally besides Tom Aspinall and John Jones, there's no real contenders. I thought Volkov beat the shit out of Cyril Gane. I don't know how Cyril Gane won that fight. So now Cyril Gane's holding the number 1 contender spot. I think Volkov should fight Tom Aspinall. I think John Jones should just vacate. And hopefully, I mean, this division could get some new standouts by the end of the year. But, like, everyone's just falling off. We haven't seen Curtis Blades fighting forever. Jalton Almeida is coming off a loss. Derek Lewis, where is he? Tai Tuivasa's fat as fuck. Shamil
Gaziev is the biggest fall. I love Tai Tuivasa. Like when he like made a splash, like I loved him.
Oh my god, 2020, 2021, he was the guy.
He was the guy, and then he's just been losing, and he just doesn't look like he gives a fuck anymore. Like he's got his cannabis company. He's got like a local beer company in Australia as well. And he's just like, I think he's making his bread and he doesn't give a shit.
It's crazy to think there was genuinely a time John Jones versus Tai Tuivasa for the heavyweight title could have been a thing. There was a number one contender fight between Cyril Gane and Tai Tuivasa, which Cyril Gane won and went on to go fight John Jones for the heavyweight title. If Tai Tuivasa beat Cyril Gane, it would have been John Jones versus Tai Tuivasa for the heavyweight championship. In an alternate universe, I'd like to believe that happened, but unfortunately, it wasn't this one. Have you guys checked out what Gil Melendez is doing with Fight Night at Tech CU in San Jose, my hometown? Let's go. Unfortunately, not, brother.
I haven't, but I partied with Gilbert Melendez in fucking in Vegas. He's like, I think he's Nate Diaz's crew, right?
Really? I see him too.
I think so because I looked him up and he looks very familiar. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. But he looks familiar. I think it was me, him, and Jake Shields, which is like the fucking randomest fucking trio. But
Jake Shields in the news recently. I mean, we can mention that. Jake Shields was on this Russian tough reality TV show with Nate Diaz, where they do like the Ultimate Fighter spinoff, and just both teams got into a big sprawl thing. I just hope nothing. Those videos always kind of scare me because they go super viral. And I'm just worried about, like, is anybody actually taking legal action here? Is there a bunch of open cases now? And it just sucks for everybody if that happens to, like, popular fighters like Nate and Jones having to deal with legal issues outside of the thing. So I hope everyone's okay on that end of things and nothing had to go on and take legal action. But pretty entertaining video when you go watch it, seeing a bunch of people get jumped.
Yeah, you gotta love that. Yeah. You hang out with Nate for a second and like that shit always happens.
Well, this is what happened. The guy comes over to Nate and he's like testing his gangster, starts pushing Nate, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the tough guy. I could fuck you up and stuff." And Nate's like, "Yeah, buddy," slaps him in the face. Talks and slaps him, loses his cool. Then everyone's just defending Nate at this point. Like, you fuck around with Nate, you're gonna get slapped. So it was just an ego check from that guy, and he didn't fuck with it, and then he got fucked up.
Yeah,
pretty entertaining.
I guess let's go lightweight because there's a little bit to talk about.
We were talking about lightweight a bit. Let's do it.
Yeah, can we talk about how 4 of the top 5 guys in lightweight are washed?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this, but like, I love Charles, I love Justin, I love Max, I love Dustin.
Maybe washed isn't the word, but it's prime. You cannot.
You know what I mean? It's like they're
not in their prime.
They're not in their prime, and are they really still top 5ers? Like, I don't know, because all their wins come against each other. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Justin knocked out Max, but then Max got knocked out by Ilya. Like, you know,
bro. Like even Armin Tsarukyan, he got offered the Mateus Gamrot fight, and he denied it because it's out of the top 5. But it's like, bro, I don't care to see you fight against Justin Gaethje. I don't care, bro. I don't care to see a Justin Gaethje number 1 contender fight. I like that they're doing Max versus Dustin because it's like wash versus wash. But
it's like OG versus OG, you know. But like they're both like, unfortunately, coming at the end of their careers, you know.
But we know what we're gonna get with that one. It's gonna be stand bang boxing. It's gonna be fire in the middle of the octagon, just fucking to throw into death. Renato Moicano's birthday was just a few days ago. Hopefully he gets a good matchup soon. Paddy Pimblett should definitely be higher than number 8. Don't know what's up with that, but I think he's going to be I mean, if it's let's see Paddy versus Ilya for the lightweight title by the end of the year, that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, like obviously rankings don't work this way, but like when you look at these fights, it should really be probably like Ilya, Armin, Charles, Paddy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, like Charles, you can kind of keep in there because he's kind of been like all over the place. But yeah, it's just weird. But even like Charles, like what did he do to get in the top 5? He beat Michael Chandler. You know, he lost to Tsarukyan already. He beat Beneil Dariush. Like again, he's just beating a lot of these old timers. Like he beat literally, bro. I'm telling you, they fight each other. Charles Oliveira's last like few wins. Michael Chandler, Beneil Dariush, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. You know, like that's what got him in the top 5. Like, come on, you know, like it's just like tough. Again, I love Charles. I don't know. I hypothetically would like him to win, but honestly, like I'm a big storyline guy, and I would actually rather see Ilya win because I think that if Ilya beats Charles, like you're setting up Ilya to like work his way up to become the new GOAT of the UFC.
Yes, you are.
Know, like that, and I'm more for that than like having like a feel good like final Charles Oliveira champion moment. Like it doesn't really do anything for his legacy.
That's why I'm here for it too. I like it too.
Yeah. But Ilya Islam is the fight to make, like 100%. Like that's what the UFC needs next. But hey,
go ahead.
I was gonna say Islam beats JDM, and then you make the Ilya fight, and now Islam can have his double champ status if he wins. Yeah.
Somebody that we're not mentioning in this division who's unranked is Marcio Ruffy from the Fighting Nerds. He's definitely going to make his leap into this top 15 this year for sure. I think what they're planning is number 12th ranked Michael Chandler versus Marcio Ruffy to get him into the top 15 there, which I don't hate, but I also
I hate that.
I could see him fighting up from that. I don't think he needs to fight Michael Chandler here. I think he could get somebody like Renato Moicano, Beneil Dariush, Gamrot, Hooker. Hooker would be a great fight. Hooker versus Marcio Ruffy.
Okay, Hooker versus Ruffy would be fun, but I think
would be fun.
Yeah, but you're bumping Ruffy up too much, like from being outside of the top 15 to fighting like the number 6 ranked. But I think BSD, people thought he could be champ. Like they thought he was working his way there. Obviously didn't happen. He did get that win recently. I forget who it was against.
Ruffy would, because it was Brad. It was he beat a random guy.
Yeah, so Ruffy versus BSD. BSD wins. You still have the argument to put him in the top 10. Ruffy wins. He's in the top 15. That's what I want to see. But you're gonna start seeing like these guys drop. Like again, like these top 5 guys. Like Poirier is gonna be out of there. Holloway, if he loses to Poirier, is he still fighting? I don't know.
We're looking at this right now being like, man, these guys are so old. This sucks. But in 2 years, when all these guys aren't on the rankings and retire, we're going to be like, damn, we missed these guys giving us performances that we could remember for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? And let's not see Marcio Ruffy versus Grant Dawson. Man, that guy can't get above the top 15 spot, man. He's always either 13, 14, or 15 every time I look at the rankings. Grant Dawson, man, he needs a... He was supposed to fight Beneil Dariush, and then something happened there. That fight didn't go through.
Yeah, I'd like to see Dawson versus Moicano.
Yeah, Dawson, even Chandler would be good too.
Yeah, Dawson Chandler I can see happen as well. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Because he's been calling for that fight forever. He's actually been calling for that fight on Inside Fighting forever. Every time he has a podcast or an interview with Mike Owens, he's calling out Michael Chandler for being a fraud.
Any chance he gets to talk shit about Mike, he goes for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I've met Mike a couple times. I'm gonna have to ask him. Be like next time we see him live, be like, you know what Grant Dawson's been saying.
Nobody's asking him about Grant Dawson, but we have to. We have
to. Let's talk about some of the lighter divisions here. Featherweight, a little bit interesting.
It is really interesting for real.
Yeah. You got Volk as the champ. Max Holloway is somehow the number 1 ranked fighter there still.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is interesting because he said he doesn't want to fight there. You got Diego, and Ilya Topuria is also in those rankings. So like if you were to redo the rankings, it'd be Diego Lopez 1, Yair 3, Movsar 4, Arnold Allen 5, and so forth. It's interesting. It's interesting because Yair is coming off of a win, but he's not coming off of he's coming off a win against Pitbull,
Yeah.
Like it's
when he was calling out for title after the Pitbull win by decision, I was like, come on, dude. You just fought a 3-round decision fight against a Bellator fighter. Like, need one more, in my opinion, but
yeah, you probably have to do like Yair Diego Lopez. But like the question is like, what the fuck do you do with Evloev? Because he's already beaten a lot of these guys. You know, you just nobody wants to fight him and nobody wants to see him as the champ. Like he's been Aljamain Sterling, he's been Arnold Allen, he's been Diego Lopez, Danny Ige. He's got some good wins under his belt. He has a win. Didn't he beat Topuria? No.
Who's this?
Evloev
versus
I
Taporia?
don't think
I
so.
don't think so. No.
No. But yeah, so Evloev is like the biggest question mark, but he's like that Dagestani type of fighter that nobody wants to see as the champ, which is what we thought we were getting with Ankalaev, but we didn't get that. Yeah. But bantamweight might be the second most exciting division. After
Yeah, and I like featherweight. What I will say is like a lot of these people at the bottom, Dan Ige, David Onama, Yusuf Zalal, Gene Silva, Aljamain Sterling, Lerone Murphy, they're all putting together wins in their careers right now. So I mean, all they have to do is one win each against these top 5 guys, and we literally see a whole reverse into the rankings here. So could be a big mashup in the featherweight division. I'm gonna say Volkanovski is probably still champ by the end of the year, though. Probably gets a good defense against Yair or Mosvar.
I feel like you have to make Volk versus Mosvar next. No.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for Volk on that one too. I think they're saying Gene Silva versus Diego is going to be the next fight there for #1 contender, and then probably Mosvar is going to fight for the title. Yeah,
like that'd be a sick fight.
Yeah, I think you were the one actually calling for that on one of our breakdown shows as well when we had a week off.
Yeah, and then I think you make Lerone Murphy versus Yair Rodriguez.
Yes, all those make sense.
Yeah, like those are the fights to make.
But yeah, let's get in the bantamweight.
Yeah, let's do bantamweight. Merab is champ. Very high chance he's still the champ by the end of the year. If he beats O'Malley, he's keeping his championship.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have like O'Malley is like a hard pick. You know, it's not a brain pick. He had his moments in the first fight, but like I was there, I was live, and I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, damn, O'Malley is doing nothing. Obviously, rewatching the fight, he had his moments, but like live, I was just like, Merab is just so much better than O'Malley. Like that's what it looked like there, and it's sad to see, sad to say. But I do think the second fight is going to be a lot different. I think when you see these kind of rematches, fighters learn, fighters change. And I think it's probably the best thing to, like, if O'Malley beats Merab, it's the best thing to happen to the bantamweight division.
Yeah, for real.
It's an automatic rematch.
That's why it's getting booked. Yeah.
You make the trilogy, know?
Yeah.
If O'Malley loses to Merab, that's a problem for O'Malley.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if O'Malley loses to Merab again, you're like, does he beat Umar? I don't know.
Does he beat Corey?
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. If O'Malley loses to Merab, he probably make the O'Malley Corey fight. I think O'Malley wins that one.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Probably Umar Peter Yan potentially is next as well.
I like Peter versus Sean O'Malley too. If Sean loses or wins, I think Peter should be next for Sean. I know everyone wants to call for Corey, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens there. I like what you said about Merab looking good against these guys. Like, I don't know how he does it, but miraculously, every time he fights one of these top guys like Jose Aldo or Umar Nurmagomedov, Sean O'Malley, somehow he makes these top guys just look like levels below him. I don't know how he does it, but when he's fighting the Henry Cejudos, these guys who we think are these top elite guys, he literally makes them look like they're 2 divisions below him. So it's really impressive for Merab what he's been able to accomplish. Yes, there's huge legacy debates and talks with Merab if he continues to stack these wins. Has 12 or 13 win streak right now in the bantamweight division, which is like no one's ever done that before in bantamweight, and only a few champions have went on that kind of streaks in the UFC, like Amanda Nunes and Tony Ferguson. So he's setting up a legacy for himself.
Yeah.
I'm low-key almost a fan at this point. I actually love Merab. I love his antics as well.
I'm a big fan.
He's grown up so much. I used to hate on him so much. I thought he was just like a clown because Sean O'Malley would just be roasting him, and I was a big Sean stan. But now he's kind of grown on me. I like him a lot. He's hilarious.
He is a clown.
He's so funny.
That's why we like him.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's actually a goofball.
Yeah. But if Merab beats Sean O'Malley, I think he's the undisputed bantamweight GOAT.
Yes.
If you think that Aljo is the GOAT at the moment, which is what a lot of fighters have said in the division, Yeah, but Merab would be undisputed, I think. That'd be his second title defense in a row. I guess he's only defended it twice, but those are like the top guys in the division, But Merab, Peter, Jan would make the most sense after that if Merab wins. And then after that fight, like it's genuinely like undisputed if he beats Peter.
Facts. I was in Vegas with you. I got to meet Merab and I got to ask him a question. And I asked, he said Jose Aldo is the bantamweight GOAT. I said, what do you think would make you the bantamweight GOAT? He said just pure dominance. He wants to be the champ for at least 10 more years defending, which is a crazy goal, but like Merab's a delusional thinker. I genuinely do believe that he thinks he will be champion for the next 10 years. But I did ask him if he would be open to fighting Alexandre Pantoja, who's been holding the flyweight title for a while now, who's arguably the flyweight GOAT. So if we could get the flyweight GOAT going up against the bantamweight GOAT, I think that would be a huge, huge matchup. But Merab said there's really nothing that benefits his career if he gets that fight. It does everything for Pantoja and nothing for him because he'd be putting his title up on the line. He's not going to cut down to 125 for that fight. I do think it's a super fight that I'd love to see, though. Maybe we could get that by the end of 2025. If he defends here, who's really next? Do we have to see Corey Sandhagen, or could we put him in a super fight for a double champ?
Look at this. We got a comment in the chat. Well, 2 comments. Hamza, you're a bitch. Like
I read that too, bro.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know we're on YouTube live.
Yeah. But
way to call him out.
Yeah, you got to call those guys out. Like, what the fuck? You sat here and watched. Like, the fuck are you doing?
Respect. Type in the comment though.
But I don't know how to pronounce it. MXCKCS.
Yeah, he was in my lives the other week.
Yeah, if Merab wins Sugar Peter Umar rematch, I'd say he's top 15/10 all time, and I would agree. If he beats those 3 guys, he's saying he's got to beat Umar again, like in a rematch. But yeah, I think you can make that argument just with all the title defenses and his win streak on top of that. Yeah.
I'd probably want to see the Corey Sandhagen fight instead of the Umar rematch, just because it's a new face. But yeah, he's damn near right with that. I think Merab is making the case for himself to be undeniable, which is what Alexandre Pantoja is kind of doing in the flyweight division too, knocking off all these contenders. They don't even have a contender for him, so they bring in Kyle Sakura from another whole dominates him, just dominating everyone. So
yeah,
that's a fun division too. We get to see him go up against Kai Kara France and I believe Sydney. That one's happening in Sydney. I'm not too sure where that one got booked for. Could be in America too. I'm just fucking spitballing, honestly, taking a wild guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up right now.
But that should be a fun one. I mean, Kai Kara France coming off the knockout to Steve Urseg. He's definitely got power, trains with CKB. That's a serious gym. I like Kai Kara France. We've seen Australia get 2 titles now with Alex Volkanovski and JDM. Could Kai Kara France do it for the Aussies? And we see
that's in Vegas.
Oh, wow. Aussie dominance.
International Fight Week.
Oh, wow. That's on that card.
Yeah, that's co-main.
Wow. That's so fun. Yeah, we could see Aussie have Australia take home 3 UFC titles, which has never happened before. It could be insane.
Yeah. In the comments, people are saying that Pantoja already beat him on tough. But that's a long time ago. But I also don't think Kai Kara France beats Pantoja personally. I don't really rank Pantoja. Like he could beat everyone in the division twice, and I'd still be like, I don't know if he's on my GOAT list.
Bro, is it just because like it goes to decision? Because low key, he throws a lot of strikes. He's super powerful. He is fast, but I kind of agree with you. He's kind of forgettable. I don't know what it is.
Super forgettable. But speaking of forgettable,
go ahead.
Bilal forget the name Muhammad,
and he dunked it.
Damn, bro. I love seeing him lose, but it was a good fight. I'll give him that. That was the fight that I'll give him respect for. But I loved seeing him lose.
Yeah, it was a little weird how he entered the ring too. I don't know if anybody was watching that.
Like shimmy, he was doing with his thing. Yeah, it was weird, bro.
Like when he was getting his face down, I was like, bro's about to go to the biggest war of his life, and he's just dancing like he just had a tequila shot. But
yeah, but Bilal's like one of those guys. Like he just like what have you proved, and why were you so confident? You know,
Mhm.
like
Exactly, yeah.
and that the confidence killed him. Like that's what it does to a lot of these like guys.
Man, you nailed
It
that.
killed O'Malley. It killed O'Malley against Merab. Like that's what happened. You know,
Mhm. And it humbled him though now too. He's not doing anything that he was doing in that first camp where he was gaming and drinking and smoking and going to the clubs. He's not doing any of that now. And really, when you look at that first fight between those two, Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili, it's a takedown problem. So I think healthy Sean, stronger Sean, faster, too quick, too fast. He's going to defend those takedowns in this one, making it a strictly striking fight. That's how I think this is going to go. I think Merab's going to get – obviously, Merab's going to go for takedown, takedown, takedown. But if he only can land one takedown within, like, the first, 3 rounds, one takedown, he's going to get knocked out. Sean's got hands, bro. I really do believe in him.
And Sean was doing a decent job. Like don't get me wrong, he was taken down a bunch of times in that fight, but like he was still doing a good job defending some takedowns. You know,
Yeah.
Up a little bit.
I still was rooting for him. I still thought he had a chance in that fight. I didn't think it was over. I did think it was 2-2 going into the 5th.
Yeah.
But hey.
But the difference between Suga and Bilal is that Suga is 30, Bilal's 36. Like Suga has time to make those adjustments and like let those losses humble him so he can improve.
Yeah.
Bilal, on the other hand, he's 36. You know, like, is it going to humble him a little bit? Sure. Is it going to make him better? Yes. How long can he be better for? Not that long. You know? So that's the key difference.
He's already trained with like the Khabib and stuff. Like his game's not going to improve it like much levels, where Sean O'Malley is now training with Izzy. He's sparring with Demetrius Johnson the other day. So like he's putting work in with real goats, and he's just extremely dialed. So I think we see Sean O'Malley on a little resurgence, probably defend the belt against Umar or Peter Yan or Corey. So many matchups for him, or even the rematch again. So I want to see Sugar at the top, and I want to see him stay there. I don't want to see him get knocked off to a Merab. Let's see him start stacking wins, and let's call Sean O'Malley the GOAT of bantamweight. Because at one time I was thinking that he could have been, but
I'd love to see it happen. But at the same time, I don't hate Merab dominating that division. Like that's where I'm at right now with Merab. Like going into the first fight, I was like, yo, Merab's gonna be such a boring champ. Like we don't want Merab, you know.
And then Umar, and then all these guys, yeah.
But he's proven himself, and you got to give him flowers when it's due, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it either. I wouldn't hate it. If anyone's gonna be retaining the title, I'd hope it to be him or Sean. So
yeah. The only person I would hate to be a champ right now who's like in title contention is Evloev. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's the only fighter who I'm like, I don't want to see as a champion. That's it though. And Bilal, like if he gets a rematch, like I think like move past Bilal. But other than that, like even Ankalaev, would I rather see Pereira? 100%. Do I hate seeing Ankalaev? I don't love it. I don't hate it though.
He's honestly been entertaining on Twitter, and like he's kind of showing him his personality a bit, Ankalaev, with his trash talk and stuff. Even for the lead up to his fight with Alex Pereira, I thought his trash talk was actually really good. So
it was entertaining. It was entertaining the whole way.
Entertaining.
But it looks like Alex Pereira is finding himself. I saw him like doing like ayahuasca or some shit in Brazil not that long ago. So he's just channeling the energy around him and trauma, baby. Yeah, he's taking the Yuri note.
We love Chama. We love Chama.
Love it.
I mean, we don't have to dive into this for too long, but we do have Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. That's happening on UFC 316 as well. We could give a little quick breakdown of that. Raquel Pennington is the #1 contender there, but Kayla Harrison stepping up. I think Raquel already fought Pena for the belt, right? And she lost.
Yeah, that was her last fight.
Yeah.
October 5th.
Kayla Harrison's getting the chance. I don't think we can. I'm personally not counting up Pena in this one. I bet she's going to be a big underdog, but I mean, she's tough. She's fought the 5-round wars in the UFC against some badasses. So I think it's going to be harder for Kayla Harrison than people think.
I don't know if she's going to come in underdog.
You don't, eh? You think Kayla Harrison's going to be underdog?
I don't know. Here's Slotty Maddie. Yuri beats Ankh. Shama beats Yuri again. Shama champ. I'd love that.
Chama kills Yuri again. Chama champ. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
the world needs it. Yeah. What's up, Dark? What's good, bro?
Dark Shin. Dark Hadu.
Dark
What's up,
Shin.
bro? What's up?
But yeah, I wouldn't count out Pena in that one. And then also in the other female division, we got Shevchenko retaining against Manon Fiorot, which was pretty sick. I actually predicted that one. Shout out to my prediction because I thought she was going to win a close decision there. She did be able to edge that win out. And now people are calling for Wei Li to step up and fight Valentina Shevchenko for like a double champ there in the females division, which we don't see too often. Last one of those was with Amanda Nunes. So could be interesting. I think it's a great matchup. Both of them two stylistically great in those divisions. So yeah, book it. I'd love to see that by the end of 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, with Juliana, just to touch on that with Kayla Harrison, like the question is just going to be like, can she avoid the takedowns? Like she was taken down 6 times in her loss against Amanda Nunes. Okay. So that's all it comes down to, you know, is can she avoid the takedowns? Kayla Harrison should be favored, I would think. Who knows though? That would be a banger. I don't know if we can ever say a female fight's going to be a banger, but
I genuinely think
it'll be fun. It'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the conspiracy theory that Pena said at the press conference that Amanda Nunes retired because she doesn't want to fight me again. And she's waiting for Kayla Harrison to win. And if she wins, then she'll come back and fight for the title again, Amanda Nunes. But I don't know. I'd like to see her come back and fight.
No one else to beat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Like I think Pena is right. She didn't want to fight her again because she thought it was going to be a boring trilogy. She wants Kayla Harrison because Kayla Harrison, she's only got 2 wins in the UFC, but everything she's done before the UFC, people are like, she could be the GOAT, you know, or not the GOAT, could be like up there, you know, she could be the best.
That's how we're viewing kind of like Bo Nickel. She's like the Bo Nickel of the female division.
Yeah, but on a higher level because Bo just lost a fight.
Yes, on the highest level.
Yeah, on the highest level.
But, which we thought Bo was on, but apparently not.
I think he probably could have still, I know he didn't look good in that fight, but if there wasn't a liver shot, he might have still been able to win.
It looked like RDR was making him quit in there. Like he was literally just beating him up.
I agree. But you never know. Like sometimes the other guy gets tired, or maybe Bo, like something clicks in the third, and then all of a sudden he goes, or in the second round, instead of getting knocked out, the round keeps going. He ends up winning the round. Now it's 1-1 going into the third.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's going to be a good one. I'd like to see well, I don't know who's actually going to win that one between Pena and Harrison. We got a whole week to think about that one before we come back on next Thursday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back next week breaking down that whole – oh, well, actually not that card. We'll be breaking down Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Electric card. Actually, I'm surprised we haven't brought up that matchup. One of the matchups I've been waiting for all year, Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber at the Fight Apex. Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm going to be live next Saturday watching that one, boys.
One last note, Slatty Matty, what do y'all think about Patchy Mix? Patchy Mix is fighting Mario Bautista. Great question. My 2 cents on this is that whenever you have a guy come from Bellator or PFL or whatever bullshit, they've been shown that the UFC is different. Yes. He's only 31. So, and I don't rate Mario Bautista that high. Like he beat Jose Aldo in a split decision. And he doesn't have any like other big wins. I think Patchy, just based on experience, probably can take that win. But I don't know enough about these guys to like say with 100% confidence. But that's at first glance, I think Patchy Mix is the winner there. I just think he's more well-rounded. He can finish the fight a little bit better than Mario Bautista can. That's what I'm thinking there.
Yeah, I rate Patchy's takedown game. He's going to be going for takedowns, looking for the rear naked choke, looking for the submission to end the fight early. It's just a matter of what level is Batista at, what level is Patchy at. I feel like it's a good test, like it's 10th overall in the division. Even Chito Vera, one of those guys, anybody really could have been a good test for Patchy. But yeah, I don't rate Mario Batista. I actually really want to see him lose. I'm just what he did to Jose Aldo was disgusting, and he should have retired after that fight. Not Jose Aldo, but Mario Batista for disgracing a legend the way that he did. He literally lost the fight, like he was losing in the third round, and just clinched him up against the ring for like 4.5 minutes. The ref kept separating them to fight and go into the middle, and he just kept going to shoot and hold them up against the cage. So never, ever, ever, ever will I ever cheer for Mario Batista. You can mark my words. So give me Patchy in that one. And yeah, I love seeing new contenders into the UFC, but typically when they come from any other promotion, if it's not a Dana White Contender Series, typically they don't win their debut. So it's a tricky one. It's going to be one that I'm tuning in for.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this off right here just because we're about to get oh shit, Cody's going through an earthquake. We're about to get cut off on Instagram, but we go live every single Thursday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We break down the fights. Obviously, no fights this week, and we will be breaking down Aaron Blanchfield next week. And yeah, if you haven't already, follow Cody Talks IF. He goes live every Saturday to for a watch party for the UFC. So join him for the fights. He's putting out bets live. He might be doing a giveaway soon, and we might be opening up some UFC cards out live soon. So we'll see what happens there. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Slatty Matty, Patchy versus Umar next. That's a crazy take. But
Patchy versus John, book it.
Book it. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. And if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.